There's a beautiful method for preventing anger given in an ancient yoga text 3000 years ago. And millions of people have read this text, but most of them miss this particular method. And I'm going to read this out and give this to you today. And it's from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And this video of mine is part 2 of a series of 3 videos on the Yoga Sutras. My last video was on removing suffering. This is on removing anger. And the third and final video will be on removing karma. Now, this video has 2 sections on it. One is the method for preventing anger from the Yoga Sutras. And the second is the best method for removing anger completely from your system. And I'm going to give you a meditation from the Yoga Sutras that does this. A very powerful meditation which you can use without even the help of a guru. So let's get started. I'm going to read the passage out first and then explain it to you. On being disturbed by negative thoughts, think of their opposite. When these negative thoughts such as violence, etc. are acted on and performed or caused to be performed or agreed upon, they are preceded by greed, anger or delusion, which may be weak, moderate or strong. The consequences of these acts of ignorance is endless suffering. Therefore, think of opposite thoughts when negative thoughts arise. Now, what Patanjali is saying here in the Yoga Sutras is that every time you get a negative thought of violence or greed or anger, just think of their opposite. If you've got a thought of hatred, think of love. If you've got a thought of violence, think of peace. If you've got a thought of anger, think of gratitude. And what you do is you then nip the violence or the anger thought in the bud. And if these thoughts proceed and they carry on, then you may commit an act of violence which will cause you endless suffering. So the best way to prevent anger is by changing to the opposite thought. That way you not only change your thought, but you also change the underlying emotion. And you will ensure that that thought is not acted upon. It doesn't lead to violence. And I had a first-hand experience of the consequences of this. When I visited a jail in Kolkata many years ago, it was a Sunday morning in April 2000 when a group of us went to teach yoga in a jail in Kolkata, or Calcutta as it was called then. And after the session was over, one of the inmates approached me, and I was not one of the main teachers there. And he started talking to me and he said that, you know, when you teach us yoga here in this jail, it's like giving water to a man dying of thirst. I can't tell you how much it helps us. So I looked at him and I smiled and I nodded my head quietly. And then he suddenly started talking about himself, and he said how in a moment of anger, he had murdered someone. And at that moment, I became completely still. The man seemed reasonable enough. He seemed like any normal person. And suddenly here, he's murdered someone. And he had a lot of pain and suffering in him because the anguish in him, because of that one moment of madness, that one moment of anger where he lost control, he killed someone, and he was stuck in that jail for the rest of his life. Now that was 26 years ago, and I look back and I see how much my life has changed in 26 years, how many things I've done or where all I've been. And I think of that poor man, and if he's not dead, he's still stuck in that jail in that same place, suffering endlessly. So what Patanjali says is true, and it's a very effective method. Every time you're disturbed by negative thoughts, think of their opposite. Then you will not act on any violence, and you will spare yourself of endless suffering. That is another way to cure yourself completely of anger, and it's one of the best methods to cure yourself of anger, and that is to meditate. When you meditate, it changes you completely from inside. These negative thoughts don't even arise in you. You're peaceful even if the outside world is anything but peaceful. Even if people are disturbing you or situations are disturbing you, you still remain peaceful. You're not reacting unconsciously. You're able to step back a little and respond consciously. And Patanjali gives a meditation here which he says is the sound of God. And it's a very simple meditation, but it's a very powerful meditation, one that can even liberate you. And it's got a number of health benefits also. He says it prevents trembling of the limbs, which today we would call Parkinson's. It prevents unevenness of breath, which could be either diabetes or hypertension, or it could be asthma. And he says it sharpens your intellect, it improves your perception. It's got a wide variety of benefits. Now I'm just going to read that out to you and then explain how you chant this mantra. Unbound by time, God is the Guru even for those who came before. The sound expressing him is Am. Continuous recitation of it will manifest its meaning. From this practice, consciousness turns inwards and all obstacles are destroyed as well. Now, you would have heard the mantra Om, O-M, and actually it's A-U-M, it's not O-M. And it's a mantra that's also described in some detail in the Mandukya Upanishad. And the way to chant it is very simple. There are basically three sounds we can make without moving our tongue. And if you open your mouth and make a sound, what would that sound be? It would be and if you started closing your mouth, and when your mouth is semi-open, the A sound becomes a U sound. Ooh. And finally, when you close your mouth, the U sound becomes an M sound. So the way to chant this mantra is very simple. You just take a deep breath, you open your mouth, chant the mantra, start saying Ah, and then just close your mouth slowly. Automatically, the Ah sound will become a U sound and then an M sound. I'll just show it to you. Just close your eyes like this and Now it's that simple. Now this mantra should be chanted at least 21 times for you to get its effect. Preferably chanted longer. Just chanting it 21 times takes about 3 to 4 minutes. It's best if you could chant it 108 times. 108 is a special number and it has an effect on our system, on our mind and our body because of the way the solar system is constructed. The distance from the earth from the sun is about 108 times the diameter of the sun. And similarly, the distance from the earth to the moon is 108 times the diameter of the moon. So it's just the way the solar system is set up. 108 has an effect on us. So chant this mantra, and if you're somebody who's not able to sleep at night, just chant it the last thing you do at night and you'll sleep amazingly well. My next video is on karma, and karma is a very important law. It's a basic law that governs us, and I'll explain in my next video how you can set this law aside and change your personality completely for the better. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Thank you.